Many homeowners assume that switching to solar power is a quick 2-day event where a crew mounts panels on the roof and immediately disconnects the house from the grid. In reality, the physical installation of the hardware takes up only a small fraction of the total project timeline. Most of the critical progress happens before the crew ever arrives and after they pack up their tools. To start a factual assessment of what your property actually needs, you first have to gather two specific pieces of information: 12 consecutive months of your recent utility bills and the exact age of your current roof. Building a productive energy system means completing a strict sequence of structural planning and utility coordination well before a single solar panel is ordered. Step 1 is the initial consultation. An installer reviews your past kilowatt-hour consumption data to understand your seasonal electricity usage and establish a clear baseline for your home's future energy needs. If you are planning to add large electrical loads to your home, like an electric vehicle charger, an electric furnace, or new central air conditioning, those upcoming variables must be factored in right now to properly size the system. Next comes the exterior site assessment. The evaluation maps out the roof's slope and orientation, pinpoints shading from nearby trees or chimneys, and verifies the remaining lifespan of the roofing materials. Because solar panels are designed to operate for decades, placing them over a degrading roof is a costly error. It forces you to pay for the complete removal and reinstallation of the array when the roof inevitably requires replacement a few years later. Alongside the exterior check, the installer evaluates your home's main electrical service panel. They confirm that the internal bus bar and available breaker space can safely handle the solar backfeed. Rushing through these structural and electrical evaluations almost always leads to mid-project delays and unexpected out-of-pocket costs for necessary service upgrades. Once the physical checks are clear, the project moves into the system design phase. Here, the collected structural data and your specific energy goals are translated into a buildable, code-compliant layout. A successful design prioritizes municipal fire setbacks, safe roof access pathways, and the localized shading patterns shown here in red. During the permitting and utility interconnection phase, these blueprints are submitted as formal documents to your municipality and to the grid operators. Because there is no visible construction happening at your property, this often feels like a quiet period. However, administrative processing and municipal backlogs consistently make this the longest and most unpredictable phase of the entire project. Patience during this invisible bureaucratic phase is essential. It is this specific step that ensures your completed system will legally and safely integrate with the public power grid. With the permits approved, installation day begins. Crews arrive to prepare the site, stage the hardware, and brief you on a scheduled power interruption that occurs when the electrician ties into your main panel. The exterior roofing sequence starts by securing the racking hardware to the roof joists. This is followed by strict waterproofing and flashing to prevent leaks before the panels are finally lifted and fastened into place. While the panels are mounted, the exterior electrical integration happens concurrently. The rooftop array is wired through heavy-duty conduit down to a newly mounted inverter, which converts the direct current into usable alternating current. At the end of the day, when the crew packs up and leaves your property, the system remains completely inactive. You cannot turn it on yet. This animated diagram shows a bidirectional net meter, which measures electricity consumed from the grid and excess electricity sent back to it. Before you receive permission to operate, a local inspector must verify the entire installation, and the utility company must physically install this specific meter. The physical hardware sitting on your roof cannot generate usable power for your home without those final legal inspections and utility sign-offs. Earning that permission to operate is the true finish line of the installation. Once the utility grants approval, the project concludes with a final handover. The installer walks you through the system, locates the emergency shutoff points, and trains you on how to use the mobile app to track your real-time solar production. A reliable solar transition relies entirely on proper initial assessment, disciplined planning, and safely navigating the behind-the-scenes approvals. If you want a transparent, professionally managed project from the very first review to final activation, contact Solar Panel Installation Columbus for a quote that sets realistic expectations from day one.